Hey guys, and welcome to the Family Fudge. I'm Jennifer, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you our homeschool room makeover. I'll be taking you on a tour of the different zones I've created. I'll show you the colorful ways I've organized everything, and I'm also going to share with you a little bit about my strategy when it comes to homeschooling for kids 10 and under. So if you're looking for some homeschool inspiration, stay tuned. First off, like I said in my back to school haul video, homeschooling isn't a new thing for us. It's actually something I knew I wanted to do from the very beginning. So as soon as my oldest daughter, Mackenzie, started showing interest, I started working with her, and it was really fun for both of us. Where's this?
It's the Eiffel Tower.
And where's the Eiffel Tower at?
In France.
Where's this?
It's the Taj Mahal.
Where's the Taj Mahal at?
Uh-oh, look, the magnet's falling.
But where's the Taj Mahal at?
It's in India.
She really didn't even realize we were doing schoolwork. She just thought we were playing. So nowadays, I'm trying to do the same thing. I want this experience to be as fun as it possibly can for the kids, but still educational. Now, secondly, when it comes to homeschooling curriculum, if you're just getting started, I recommend not weighing yourself down with a curriculum that is too demanding. I've made that mistake before. And don't be afraid to try something else if a curriculum isn't working for you. Over the years, I've used lots of different types of homeschooling products. So this year, to keep things simple, 50% of our curriculum will be online, and for the other 50%, I'll be taking more of an eclectic approach. So that just means I'm going to be picking and choosing different products and resources that fit my family best. And then finally, just keep in mind that I'm sharing what works for us. When it comes down to it, there are so many different ways that families can find homeschooling success. And you really just have to find what works best for you. You do not have to have a dedicated homeschooling space like I do, and you do not have to try to recreate public school in your home either. For me, I am really drawn to brightly colored and highly organized classrooms, just like the type I used to work in when I spent time in my 20s teaching English in Japan. So you're definitely going to be seeing a few classroom-like touches in our homeschool space because I like to keep things organized, but you definitely could take a more laid-back approach if that works for you. So I'll go ahead and start with an overview of this room and how it used to look. When we moved into this house, it came partially furnished with furniture I didn't really love, and technically this was supposed to be the formal living room, which we pretty much would never use. So I set out to change just about everything. A few months ago, we sold all of that furniture and we went ahead and purchased desks and a bookshelf from IKEA. Now these sat pretty empty for a while, and it wasn't until we decided to homeschool this year until I slowly started adding things and organizing things, and now it looks like this. So now I'm going to take you guys in for a closer look, and I'll show you all the things in the different zones. The overall look I was going for in this space was light and bright with pops of rainbow. And because there aren't any real doors to this room, I wanted to make sure this room flowed with the rest of my house and didn't look too much like a classroom. So I did go ahead and decide to keep all of the classroom type materials in just this one zone. Now in the classroom zone, I have quite a lot going on, so I'll go ahead and start from the top and work my way to the bottom. At the top, I went ahead and added 2 magnetic whiteboards. I had a really hard time finding one big whiteboard that wasn't super expensive, so I found 2 cheaper ones and I put them together. And just as a side note, you guys, pretty much all of the printables that you see in this space I found on teachersPayTeachers.com. That is a great resource if you're looking for printables that aren't too expensive. So on this whiteboard, I have our calendar. I did go ahead and laminate each little piece, and I added a magnet as well so I can easily change out the calendar month by month. And then also on this side, I have different things for our morning calendar time. And these are also laminated so I can write on them with a whiteboard marker and then erase them as needed. Over here I have the months of the year just as a reference for my littler kids. And then on the bottom I have a resource from confessionsofahomschooler.com, and this one is really great because it helps track the days of the week. You'll notice we don't have Saturday and Sunday on here because we're not doing school on those days. Then over on this other whiteboard, I have plenty of space for me to be able to actually write things. You know, if I'm teaching a lesson to the kids or something like that. I have some dry erase pens stored in this little cup. And then way at the top, I have some good behavior punch cards. Again, I found this on teacherspayteachers.com. I went ahead and printed out and laminated 2 per kid. And I also have a very special hole punch I plan to use just on these. Now the idea is once their card is filled up, they'll be able to pick a prize from the treasure chest, which I keep way up here, so it's safe. Now this treasure chest actually came from the dollar section of Target, and I absolutely love it. Right now I just have lots of different erasers. These really cool ones are from Japan. I just love how they look like real food. In here I also have some really cute pencil sharpeners. Then I also have pencils with even more cute erasers. And then I do plan to put other things in this treasure chest as we go. Things like day off of school coupons or pizza party coupons, different things like that that the kids can earn. Oh yes, and I can't forget about the clock. I found this one on Amazon and I really like this one because not only was it white with a little bit of rainbow, but it also has all the little markings and it's all labeled, and I think this is really great for any kid who's just starting to learn about telling time. Now this bookcase also came from IKEA, and resting on top of it I have lots of different things, starting off with my teacher toolbox. Now I did share this toolbox in my back to school haul, but back then it was black. I actually took it to the backyard and I spray painted it white just so it would match better with my decor. Then once it was nice and dry, I brought it back in. I printed out some labels. I laminated the labels, then I stuck them to the front of each little drawer using some double-sided tape. So it's going to be really easy for me to change these out depending on what's actually in the drawers. Now, next to the teacher toolbox, I have my portfolio station. This is where the kids will be able to store their finished work. But for right now, I just have the extra pieces to my calendar in here. But also in here, I do have lots of artwork that Miss Lily has been working on. She is such a good little artist. Well, all of my kids are really. But I have a feeling that she is going to fill up this portfolio just by herself. And then finally, next to that, I have the awesome rotating supply station. Now, I'm not sure what this is actually called, but I can tell you I found it at Michael's. Definitely buy it when it's on sale or if you have a coupon. Now moving down to the bottom, I have my activity bins and my extra supply bins. Now this is very much like a setup that you would find in a kindergarten classroom. Now these bins were really inexpensive. I got them at Target for less than $1 each. This is going to keep everything protected and organized. Now a lot of these bins are going to help keep my preschooler busy and occupied while I'm working with my other kids, because that's really important that he has something to do when I'm busy. But I'm pretty sure all the kids want to play with these. Now in here I also have other supplies like crayons and colored pencils, paint and smocks. I also have lots of Play-Doh and math manipulatives. Now unfortunately, each little cubby could only fit 2 of these activity bins, so I decided to go ahead and add my monthly unit study bins in here as well. These are just file folders that I got from the Dollar Tree. And for right now, they're empty because I'm still working on putting this together. These are going to be activities that all of my kids can do together, and you'll be surprised how many free resources that you can find on the internet. Okay guys, so now that's everything in my classroom zone. It's time to move on to the desk zone. Right now, I have all 4 of the kids' desks pushed together like a big table. These desks have a lot of built-in storage. On this side of the room, I have my 2 younger kids' desks side by side. I think it will be easier for me to help both of them that way. On this side, I have Lily's items. They are all purple. And on this side, I have Griffin's items. They're all green. Then on this other side of the room, I have my bigger kids' desks next to each other. So of course, Mackenzie's stuff is all pink. and Jackson stuff is all blue. That's right, I color code all of their materials. That way we can easily tell which glue stick belongs to who. And there's no fighting. Well, hopefully no fighting. I also picked up this Lazy Susan from IKEA as well. Now right now it's just holding a plant, well, a faux plant. But the idea is that this Lazy Susan in the center of all of the desks will help the kids be able to share materials a lot easier. Now, if you're curious about the hole in the desk, that is for cords and things like that, but we don't have any cords for these desks. So instead, we're actually going to be using these holes as cup holders. New for this school year, I got each kid their own clean canteen. That way they can easily get a sip of water whenever they need to, and it's not going to ruin the desk because this is leak proof and insulated. These desks are great. The kids have space for all of their materials that they are going to need and more. Okay guys, now moving on over here is another zone, and this is where we have both of our computer stations and our big storage unit. So starting at the very top of the shelf, we have a very old and sort of beat up globe. This was free though, so I can't complain. Next to that, I have my big construction paper organizer. I found this on Amazon actually, and I just love that it can separate out all the different colors of paper. Now this next area is kind of mom and dad's area because like I said, I still want this space to be sort of homey, not totally classroom style. So over on this side, I have some decorative items from HomeGoods. I also have some over on this side as well. In this next section, I have some of my favorite books. In this next section, I have this cute little owl statue. A lot of the women in my family love to collect owls, which was a tradition started by my grandmother. So this owl is very special to me. And then right next to here are some of my husband's books. Again, just like me, before we moved, he ended up donating a lot of his books. So he doesn't have a lot, but we does have his favorites. Now moving on to the next section of our bookshelf. Over in this cubby, I have our educational DVDs. And you guys, these ones are tried and true. I've had these ones for years. We love them, and I plan on using them year after year with all of my kids. I have things like an at-home art curriculum, which is really good. I have lots of tree schoolers and sign language videos. We love those. I also have some rock and learn videos. Those are pretty good too. And then thankfully, I'm not going to be needing this potty training video anymore. So I should probably donate that. Next to that cubby, I have a basket full of bigger activities that wouldn't fit in my little activity bins. We have a play cash register from IKEA. This also has a built-in calculator. This is also where I store my magnetic letter board. This toy is actually really helpful. If you have a kid who doesn't necessarily like to practice their writing, this is very handy. And then below that, I have a Melissa and Doug toy, and this actually shows the different systems of the body. In this next cubby, I have a paper organizing insert, also from IKEA, and this is where I keep my Astro Bright paper. So these are not really like construction paper, so that's why I have them here instead of at the top. Now in the next two baskets, I definitely have some room to grow. Right now, I just have things like extra paper, some blank notebooks, and then over here is where I'm storing all of the dry erase pockets. These are great because you can actually put a little worksheet in there. The kids can write on the outside with a dry erase marker, and then you can wipe it off and use it over and over again. In this next row, we have some hidden storage. In this one, we have more of my husband's books. Now, in most of these drawers, I just have overflow products that we're going to be needing throughout the year, because if you watched my back to school haul, you'll know that when I went shopping, I bought enough supplies for pretty much the entire year. So I'm storing a lot of these extra items that we're going to be needing in a few months from now in these drawers. So of course we have things like dividers and sheet protectors, extra dry erase markers, and whiteboard cleaners. In this drawer, I actually have all of the school supplies that I saved from last year. These guys don't look very pretty anymore, but they're still totally usable, so we hung on to them. I also have a few erasers in here and extra calendar dates. In this drawer, I have some chalk and things like that. In here, we have other office supplies. And in this very last section, I have lots of my stuff. So in here, I keep different planners, planner supplies and accessories, and more of my favorite cookbooks. Now this next row is totally dedicated to the kids. These are things that they're going to be wanting to use often. This year I'm going to be supplementing our curriculum with Expedition World and Road Trip America. I purchased these both from confessionsofahomeschooler.com, also not sponsored, and I've actually been using lots of her products over the years. In this next section, I have lots of binders. The kids are going to be needing several different binders for different subjects this year. Next to that, we have our Harry Potter book collection. Mackenzie has a goal to read all of these during this school year, so they're here and available when she's ready. Next to that, I have even more binders, including the kids' daily notebook journal. Again, these are from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and this is just something the kids can do every morning during our calendar time. I did go ahead and put these in protective sheet covers. That way the kids can write on them with Expo markers, then they can erase them and use them again and again. And then in these last two sections, I have lots of the kids' favorite books. Some of these we've had for years, while others I recently purchased at Costco. Now that brings me to the very last row. Down here I do have lots of these little storage bins. I got these ones at Target and I think they're really cute. In here I have things like unused workbooks, read alouds. I have extra notebooks that kids are going to be using later. We have lots of crafting supplies from the Dollar Tree. And in here I have other activities that wouldn't fit on my activity shelf. So whew, that was a lot. This bookshelf has a lot of stuff on it, but there's still room to grow, which is really good because we're just starting our school year. And then, like I said, on either side of this big bookshelf, we have our two computer stations. So two kids can be working independently with their headphones on at the same time. And while they're doing that, I can actually work with the other kids with their workbooks and things like that. And then, of course, when they're done, they can swap places. And I did go ahead and take advantage of some wall space here for some extra storage with the crayons and the colored pencils. I created this system with all things from IKEA. Of course, I did go ahead and separate them out in rainbow order, and I just love the way that they look and that they're functional. Okay guys, now it's time to head on over to the comfort zone. Now, this is where I keep our waste paper basket, and then right next to that we have our rolling cart. And of course, since this is in the comfort zone, I have things like tissues, I have antibacterial wipes, I also have my essential oil diffuser, and some of my absolute favorite essential oils. Personally, I really love peppermint, anything citrus, and if I'm feeling especially stressed out, I like the essential oil blend called Balance. On the side of the cart, I have a little add-on piece that I got at Michael's. This is great for storing washi tape or rolls of paper. It comes off really easily. Behind that, I also have more essential oils. And then way at the bottom, not necessarily a comfort item, but I needed somewhere to store my laminator and my laminating sheets, and they just fit perfectly right here, so that's where they live now. Now, of course, I love that this cart is on wheels, so I can easily roll it to a different space if I need to. And speaking of rolling things away, over in this other section between the schoolroom and the dining room, I have just enough space for a rolling whiteboard. Now you guys, I looked at these on Amazon and they were pretty pricey. So I decided to DIY one myself. At IKEA, I picked up an inexpensive clothing rack on wheels. It was about $12, and then my husband helped me to attach this whiteboard from Costco to the clothing rack. So now this can move around anywhere we need it to be. You can actually raise it up higher if you need to, but I'm keeping it down lower for now so my kids can actually use it to put things like magnets on. They can also practice their writing on here. And then at the top, I also added some binder rings. That way, if you turn it around, I have storage space for posters. Now, right now, I only have 2 posters. but I'm hoping to find more. And this is a perfect place for them to be because they're kind of hidden out of everyday view. Okay guys, now I hope you found this video helpful today and that it gave you some homeschooling or organization ideas. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video.